Hello, and thank you for joining us. Pope Francis will be laid to rest Saturday after lying in state for 3 days in St. Peter's Basilica, where thousands are expected to pay their respects to the first Latin American pontiff. As funeral preparations get underway, the Vatican has released more details about the Pope's final hours and words before he died Monday of a stroke and heart failure. According to Vatican News, the 88-year-old thanked his personal nurse for encouraging him to greet crowds of people in St. Peter's Square on Easter Sunday. The Vatican also released the first images of the pontiff in his casket in the chapel of Casa Santa Marta. Church officials say Pope Francis died, quote, without long suffering or public alarm. Cardinals are gathering in Rome to elect a successor. The traditional conclave to pick the next leader of the Catholic Church must begin within 15 to 20 days after a pope dies. Cardinal Timothy Dolan, the Archbishop of New York, will participate in the voting process. He spoke with CBS Evening News co-anchor Maurice Dubois about the Pope's dedication to his parishioners and what the next few days will look like.
I often think Maurice, he was like just a darn good parish priest who knows his people, who stays in touch with them, and figures the best way I can convert souls is by touching hearts. Jesus did it, he did it.
Well, what should people expect to see as they watch this unfold?
They'd see a lot of, they're going to see some mourning, they're going to see some gratitude, they're going to see some hope, and then they're going to see people say, we need to get to work. The Holy Spirit's already chosen the next pope. Our job is to find out who it is.
Joining us now is CBS News papal and Vatican contributor Monsignor Anthony Figueiredo. Monsignor, thank you for being here. As we mentioned, the public can begin paying their respects to the Pope Wednesday morning. This will last several days. How many are expected to attend, and what else can we expect over the coming days?
Well, thanks, Lindsay. I was just at Domus Sancta Marta, at the chapel where the Holy Father is laid out. There were crowds. There was only standing room in the chapel. So I think we can expect many, many thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to come to St. Peter's Basilica starting tomorrow morning. Remember that Pope Francis was the people's Pope. Pope Francis was the Pope of mercy and compassion who reached out to so many in his papacy, and those many are coming now to pay their last respects, to say thank you to Pope Francis on his final journey, we believe, into heaven.
Can you describe the tone and tenor of where you just were, where the pontiff is laying in state right now?
It was quite amazing because there were people of all ages. That really impressed me. A lot of young people. And certainly there was the sense of losing a great pontiff, a pontiff who was so simple, a pontiff who was on the level of people. Pope Francis used to say, I want to stay with the smell of the sheep. I want to be one of them. In fact, it's quite amazing to see a pope in a simple wooden casket. Remember, Pope Francis does not want to be buried in the traditional three-leveled coffin. He wrote in his last testament, I want to be placed in the ground with simply my name on the tombstone, Franciscus. So I think people really feel that this is a pope on our level. So there's sadness in losing him, but very grateful hearts.
What should we know about the world leaders who will be arriving in Rome later this week for his funeral Saturday?
I think we're going to see many, many world leaders. President Trump, Melania, have already signaled their wish they will be attending. The Prince of Wales from representing King Charles. We have the British Prime Minister, the French Prime Minister is coming. We have the European Commissioner, Ursula von der Leyen. We have President Zelensky, who is coming as well. So I think we're going to see many world leaders. Again, remember that Pope Francis, one of the great parts of his papacy was to advocate for peace. He spoke about this again and again and again. He spoke about the blood being shed in Ukraine or in the Middle East. In his last address on Sunday, he spoke about so many of the war-torn regions. And I believe world leaders really looked up to Francis as a moral leader, the voice that spoke on behalf of those suffering, the outcasts, the neglected. And there's something, a greatness there, greatness that was shown in humility, and Pope Francis is going to attract many who want to come and see that humility even in his death.
Monsignor Anthony Figueiredo, thank you.